future has arrived in Seoul, but is Seoul the beating heart of South Korea?
Korea is a country of rich contrasts, which has managed to preserve its traditional cultures and heritage in the middle of all its spanking new modernity.
Seoul's urban layout was planned with GPS in mind, but if you can find it, there's a hidden history lurking around every other corner. Like India shining, the new slogan here is Korea sparkling. If bright city lights fail to dazzle, the subtle gems of yesteryear might. Subcultures thrive in the megalopolis. Technology and fashion are the new expressions of individuality.
And clothes are a big part of this country, so if you're not well dressed, you're probably not from here.
But there are retreats where city stresses fade into the far distance.
They even have their own local Hawaii. Jeju Island is a honeymooners' hotspot. Korea is famous for two things across the world. Korean cars, of course, one of its biggest exports, and also the traditional Korean martial art form of Taekwondo. So while you're visiting the country, if you get a chance to see a live demonstration, don't pass it up.
We've got a great kickoff to our top 10. The way of the foot and the fist is how Korea Taekwondo translates in a sense. As a martial art, it's evolved dramatically from its roots in self-defense. This once minimalist skill is now trimmed with bows, ribbons, and flourishes. And why not? Resting on a tripod of technique, training, and timing, the graceful art form lends itself to exhibition and showmanship. Taekwondo draws boys and girls at a young age into its fold. In sheer numbers of practitioners, it outranks other ancient art forms of karate, kung fu, and judo, and is now the world's most popular martial art. Despite its emphasis on striking and kicking with powerful extensor leg and arm muscles, Taekwondo is essentially a mode of self-defense, not attack. Performed well, it is an art, formidable yet beautiful. When it's time to volunteer, I put my training to the test. Think I've still got the touch, which is all it really takes to break those flimsy planks. If you're hoping to score a good bargain, it doesn't get much better than this.
I'm in Myeongdong. This is the fashion street of Seoul. It's where all the young people come to hang out. It's where all the biggest brands have their shops, and also a lot of local stuff is sold here.
Cheap chic? Check. Fashion forward? Check. Hip and happening? Check. For trend spotting, look to the youngsters. Korean tweens and teens are fab fashionistas.
Koreans love soccer, which also happens to be their national sport. So every time a game rolls around, or it's soccer season, shops like these spring up locally, selling only red t-shirts, because if you're Korean and you like soccer, you wear red.
Footwear to headgear and everything in between. Get it all on this one stretch. Jam-packed with goodies at great prices.
Pretty, so many shoes!
Myeongdong is definitely the style center and the couture soul of Seoul.
Definitely me.
Browse, bargain and buy. That's the mantra. You'll even find jogri, the long Korean wraparound blouse.
Local Korean clothes?
With chima, the skirt for women, or paji, the trousers for men.
Koreans love to look good, and clothes are a big deal. So a day spent at the markets here is a day well spent.
Our next stop, the Kimchi Museum in Seoul, to learn of onions and chives and cucumbers of cabbages and kings.
Kimchi is Korea and Korea is kimchi. It's a traditional local side dish that features in every single Korean meal.
Like it or despise it, you simply can't ignore kimchi. And if a museum where fermented cabbage is the main attraction seems a bit over the top, this is a good time to remind you that kimchi has a history that dates back 3,000 years. That's older than most modern civilizations. Dramatic tableaus depict its dominance. Kimchi culture dictates every dish. The ingredients, the preparation, the composition, storage, and finally the consumption of kimchi is quite the process.
And when you're done looking and learning everything about kimchi and Koreans, there's a place where you actually get to try them. 80 different kinds of kimchi. Perilla oil fried kimchi. Plain old white kimchi for foreigners. Young radish kimchi. Traditional cabbage kimchi. Cut kimchi or mustard leaf kimchi. Spicy kimchi.
A pirate ship on a river run? That's at number 7. Maybe even Captain Jack Sparrow? Now that would be heaven. The Han River splits the city of Seoul into the old quarter and the new quarter. And one of the first things that I was told when I got here was that the water of this river is so clean that people actually drink from it. I'm not sure if that's a good idea, but I'll tell you what is. A cruise down the River Han is a must-do when visiting Korea. It affords an excellent view of the entire city of Seoul. Not so long ago, the Han was a cesspit of sewage and pollution, an ironic byproduct of the miracle on the Han River, the term given to Korea's frantic post-war industrial boom. Now yachts glide by and surfers skid over the pure, sparkling waters. It's interesting that this city has one of the most modern skylines in the world, and the boat still sports this ratty old cannon with a pirate flag.
Well, at least I know the ship is in good hands.
Sweeping across the Han in a pirate boat may not lead to buried treasure, but you will find a horde of travelers and tourists, courting couples, solitary poets, screeching kids, and talking suits. This cruise is a one-size-fits-all window over Seoul. The setting sun paints the horizon a vivid orange and gold. Now that's gotta be good for the soul.
A place where we take our fashion seriously. Together, you and me are going to make some exciting cocktails.
A fish that actually curves like a lady when you put it on the fire.
I think there's a shark in here!
Fun, excitement, and lots of adventure.
All setting stage for a fairy tale wedding. Just how they do what they do.
3 days and 3 nights in just 3,000 rupees.
Dogs, cats, or that fish that is strictly not to be caught.
Married or single or with someone. Each one comes with its own unique challenges.
This is technology that we've never seen before.
Gadget show. Byron, that belly of yours.
How to prepare the poireau?
Nearly 100 years old.
It's not just about the outfit.
So much fun, this outfit.
All setting stage for a fairy tale wedding.
I don't feel lonely anymore. I feel I have a child. It's like my dream car.
I usually do 4 sets. Today we're just gonna do 2.
I'm talking about...
On my top 10 is one of Seoul's top 5 palaces, that is. The Gyeongbok Palace is the largest of the relics of an imperial past. The pomp and circumstance of the early changing of the guard is a brief glimpse into the erstwhile splendor of the 14th century Joseon dynasty. But beating the massive barrel gong, is a belated tribute to a royal art, now performed only for the public.
The rule of the monarch ended in Korea with the invasion and then the subsequent retreat of the Japanese. Now it's a modern, bustling metropolis, but the heritage of the country is preserved in 5 palaces spread across Seoul. Today I'm visiting the largest one. It's called Gyeongbok Palace, and literally translated means palace blessed by heaven.
With multi-tiered pavilions, 6 inner courts and another half a dozen main gates, this palace is designed to shock and awe.
The central courtyard of the palace is where the king used to conduct his meetings with ministers of state. And these stone pillars lined up to the left and the right is where the officials sat according to their ranks. So they're actually called ranking stones.
And though the palace was conquered by the Japanese, all the inscriptions are in Chinese, or at least Korean rendered in Chinese Hanja characters. Despite the many military incursions, it managed to retain artifacts and facets from its glorious past, helped along by a restoration process begun in 1990.
Like most Asians, the Koreans too are quite superstitious. So this entire palace is built on the principles of Feng Shui. According to the science, this is in fact the luckiest place in all of Seoul to have a residence, with a mountain flanking the north side and the river Han running down the south.
For a palace blessed by heaven, Gyeongbok certainly has its share of earthly delights. A must visit.
Somewhere right at the top of my list of the top 10 things to do in Korea is to visit Everland. It's South Korea's largest theme park, and I, for one, don't need any more encouragement than that to give it a visit.
Everland is like Neverland minus Peter Pan, a spellbound space where you can simply refuse to grow up. So at number 5 on my top 10 is a celebration of being eternally 5.
So spotting wildlife in South Korea is really not possible locally. So one major source of amusement for tourists as well as locals is to come to amusement parks to see lions and tigers and giraffes.
Putting the humans in a glass cage and letting the animals run wild? Now that's an idea I can really get behind.
Seriously, that elephant is dancing.
And that Asian tiger is so not made of paper.
That's a liger. It's a crossbreed between a lion and a tiger, and it's called a liger.
Let's get that bear, it's simple bare necessities.
That bear's like, oh please, have you seen my size? What is that little biscuit gonna do for me?
Not sure why we're clapping, but hey, we're having fun.
That's the Everland greeting.
From fur to feathers, they may not fly, but they sure can make your heart soar. Parades, bunnies, pixies, Everland's got like everything on land and in the sea and the sky. Can't miss the crazy coasters, the twirling ships, the rolling wheels.
My head is spinning after all the rides. I can see cherubic babies all around. I can hear enchanted music. And now I'm gonna go for a walk under the fairy tree.
If kimchi is steeped in spices, all Korean cuisine is soaked in history. Intertwined with rituals of royalty, art, courtship, even religion, food is the final fixed frontier in the meeting of contemporary and historic Korea. And Korea House recreates the atmospheric setting integral to the consumption of Korean cuisine.
Oh, so all the food is already laid out?
Actually, when we have a very special guest, people prepare king's meal called surak.
All right, then what do we start with?
We call this 구절판. We prepare 9 different ingredients. It symbolizes union of people.
Okay, now let's eat.
Now you wrap it together. We roll it actually with a crepe.
And you pop it into your mouth.
Why don't you try Korean ginseng? It is one of the famous appetizer for Korean people.
The appetizers are purest, fresh ingredients, sparingly seasoned.
Hold on while I readjust my chopsticks.
Yummy.
Without trying to taste kimchi, they cannot say they've been here in Korea. So I want you to try kimchi.
More kimchi?
The king must have had a big table.
And a big appetite.
Oh.
This was actually also called as king's soup. Oh, why don't you use spoon? It will be easier, right?
Just when I had mastered that, she tells me to switch to a spoon.
Wait, don't stuff yourself, there's more coming.
Finally brought us the main dish. It was just appetizer.
I double-checked. She wasn't kidding.
That looks great.
Big grilled prawn with abalone. Especially this prawn is good for enhance your kidney function.
Yeah, right. All in the interest of my kidneys. The secret lies in small samplings.
I like the rice.
Really? So try this rice with soybean paste soup.
Whatever you say, ma'am.
Joey, thank you much for walking me through my entire Korean meal, vegetable by vegetable and soup by soup. 감사합니다.
감사합니다.